Roller coasters are designed to thrill, pushing the limits of adrenaline and excitement. But when safety measures fail, the results can be catastrophic.
The amusement park horror in Daytona Beach, Florida. A roller coaster jumping the track, sending riders plunging to the ground.
The two cars of the roller coaster fell down. They're still hanging, actually.
Turning amusement into tragedy. From design flaws to human error and mechanical failures, roller coaster accidents have left an indelible mark on history. In this list, we explore 20 of the worst roller coaster accidents ever recorded, shedding light on the devastating consequences and the lessons learned.
Here we go, boys!
All the front was full up and the back had some in it, children and adults. I think there was a man who died. Most of the people at the back all got crushed up now.
Big Dipper at Battersea Park, Fun Fair, England, 1972. On May 30th, 1972, a tragic accident occurred on the Big Dipper roller coaster at Battersea Park Fun Fair in London, England.
The Big Dipper was the big attraction in Battersea Fun Fair.
The biggest thrill you could have.
We were there because of me. You just feel such terrible guilt.
Claiming the lives of 5 children and injuring 13 others. Once a popular wooden coaster built in the 1950s, the Big Dipper became the site of one of the worst amusement park disasters in British history due to neglect and poor maintenance.
That was operated by my father. It was a combination of malfunctions.
The accident unfolded when a rope used to haul the train up the lift hill snapped. Without the restraint of the rope, the train began to roll backward uncontrollably, gaining speed before crashing into another car at the station. The impact was devastating, with carriages derailing and passengers thrown from the ride. Investigations revealed severe lapses in the maintenance and operation of the ride. The wooden coaster, already aging, had not undergone sufficient inspections or upgrades to meet modern safety standards. The rope hauling mechanism, critical to the ride's operation, was poorly maintained, and backup systems to prevent such accidents were non-existent.
I just remember lying on the ground, timber all around me. And the first thing I wanted to do was look for my friend. I couldn't find him anywhere.
The aftermath of the accident sent shockwaves through the amusement park industry. Battersea Park Fun Fair faced intense public scrutiny, and the park closed permanently just 2 years later. On a broader scale, the tragedy underscored the need for stricter safety regulations. The UK implemented tighter standards for ride inspections, operator training, and maintenance protocols, ensuring that such negligence would not be repeated.
The world's largest indoor roller coaster. They call it the Mindbender.
Mindbender at Galaxyland, Canada, 1986. On June 14, 1986, disaster struck the Mindbender roller coaster at Galaxyland in West Edmonton Mall, Alberta, Canada.
Thought dead.
And then what happened?
And then just sat there and waited for it.
Touted as the world's largest indoor triple loop coaster, the Mindbender became infamous when a wheel assembly detached.
An inquiry opened today into a roller coaster accident which killed 3 people in Edmonton last month,
causing a car to derail mid-ride. The accident killed 3 passengers and critically injured 1. The derailment occurred during the final loop when the detached wheel assembly destabilized the last car of the train. The car began to swing uncontrollably before striking a support beam and throwing passengers onto the concrete floor below. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic, with debris and injured riders scattered across the area.
The maintenance people have been looking at the situation as it sits, but the police investigation is going on.
An investigation revealed a combination of design flaws and maintenance lapses. The wheel assembly had been improperly secured, and critical welds on the coaster's frame showed signs of fatigue. Moreover, insufficient testing of the ride prior to its launch and inadequate inspections were identified as contributing factors. In the wake of the tragedy, Galaxyland temporarily shut down, and the Mindbender underwent extensive modifications to address safety concerns. Design adjustments included enhanced wheel assembly mechanisms, improved structural reinforcements, and stricter maintenance schedules. The accident also led to more rigorous safety standards across Canada for amusement rides, with frequent inspections and third-party audits becoming mandatory.
And there she goes, a little slowly at first, up the first big climb, just to get you feeling all cocky, and then whoosh! Stomach, where are you?
Big Dipper at Krug Park, USA, 1930. On July 24, 1930, tragedy struck at Krug Park in Omaha, Nebraska, when a fatal accident on the Big Dipper roller coaster shocked the nation. A train car derailed, plunging 35 feet to the ground and killing 4 passengers while injuring 17 others. It was one of the deadliest amusement park accidents in U.S. history at the time, sparking widespread calls for stricter safety measures in the rapidly growing amusement park industry. The accident occurred when a bolt securing the car to the track came loose, causing the car to leave the rails during a turn at the ride's highest point. Eyewitnesses reported that passengers were thrown from the car as it plummeted to the ground. Rescue efforts were immediate but hampered by the extensive wreckage. An investigation revealed that the ride's operators had failed to conduct routine maintenance, allowing critical components to deteriorate over time. The tragedy highlighted the lack of regulation in the amusement park industry, where safety standards were often inconsistent or non-existent. The aftermath of the accident led to significant changes in the amusement park industry. Public outrage spurred local governments to implement stricter safety inspections, enforce maintenance schedules, and require more robust engineering designs for new rides. These early measures set the groundwork for modern safety standards, ensuring that thrill rides would be subjected to rigorous scrutiny. Wildcat at Bell's Amusement Park, USA, 1997. On April 20, 1997, the Wildcat roller coaster at Bell's Amusement Park in Tulsa, Oklahoma, experienced a catastrophic mechanical failure, resulting in the death of 1 passenger and injuries to 6 others. The accident was caused by the train disengaging from the lift hill and rolling backward into another train, highlighting severe lapses in maintenance. The derailment occurred when the chain mechanism that pulled the train up the hill malfunctioned. Without the chain support, the train began to slide backward uncontrollably, colliding with another train waiting at the station. The impact was forceful, causing injuries ranging from minor to severe and resulting in the death of a woman seated in the rear car. Investigations revealed that the coaster's mechanical systems had not been properly maintained. Reports indicated that the park had failed to adhere to recommended inspection schedules and worn components had gone unnoticed. The lack of a secondary braking system to prevent backward motion compounded the severity of the incident. The tragedy prompted lawsuits against the park, leading to increased scrutiny of Bell's Amusement Park's operational practices. Public pressure and legal action forced the park to overhaul its maintenance protocols, install updated safety features, and comply with more stringent state regulations. Fujin Raijin 2 at Expoland, Japan, 2007. On May 5, 2007, tragedy struck at Expoland in Osaka, Japan, when the Fujin Raijin 2 roller coaster derailed, killing a 19-year-old woman and injuring 19 others. The accident occurred when a broken axle caused one of the cars to come off the tracks, tilting dangerously and striking a guardrail. The incident sent shockwaves through the amusement park industry and exposed critical lapses in ride maintenance. Investigations revealed that the ride had not undergone thorough inspections, despite operating for over a decade. The axle that failed had shown signs of metal fatigue, a condition that could have been detected through routine maintenance checks. However, Expoland had neglected to replace or properly inspect key components, allowing the wear and tear to go unnoticed until it was too late. The aftermath of the derailment was devastating for Expoland. The park faced immense public criticism and scrutiny from regulatory authorities. Although the Fujin Raijin 2 was immediately closed, attendance at the park plummeted due to safety concerns. Expoland attempted to regain public trust by introducing stricter safety protocols, but the damage to its reputation was irreparable. Just a year later, in 2008, Expoland shut its doors permanently.
Hearing the initial sounds of screaming children, but they could tell these weren't the normal yells you'd expect from passengers on a thrill ride. This was something far more menacing. Several people are hurt, but they are expected to survive this nightmarish crash.
Tsunami at M&D's, Scotland, 2016. On June 26, 2016, the Tsunami roller coaster at M&D's theme park in Motherwell, Scotland, derailed, injuring 10 people, including 8 children. The accident occurred when the ride's train detached from the tracks and crashed into the main structure, leaving passengers trapped and terrified.
Oh my God.
Eyewitnesses described it as a scene from a horror film. A derailed roller coaster full of passengers lying upside down on the ground.
Eyewitnesses described the train hanging at a precarious angle before it came crashing down. Emergency services responded swiftly, rescuing victims from the wreckage and transporting them to nearby hospitals. Injuries ranged from fractures to head trauma, with several requiring long-term treatment. An investigation into the incident uncovered issues with the ride's maintenance and operational procedures. The park faced harsh criticism for failing to ensure the safety of its attractions, with safety inspectors finding irregularities in the coaster's mechanical components. The park temporarily shut down following the accident to address public safety concerns. The Tsunami derailment sparked outrage, with many questioning the park's commitment to rider safety. While the ride was permanently closed, the incident left a lasting stain on M&D's reputation, leading to increased scrutiny of amusement parks across the UK. For many, it was a stark reminder of the importance of stringent safety measures in thrill rides. The Smiler at Alton Towers, England, 2015. On June 2, 2015, a catastrophic collision on the Smiler roller coaster at Alton Towers in Staffordshire, England, left 16 passengers injured, including 2 young women who required leg amputations. The ride, known for its record-breaking 14 inversions, became the center of one of the UK's most infamous amusement park disasters. The accident occurred when a loaded train collided with a stationary test train on the track. A technical fault had caused the empty train to stop mid-ride, but human error played a critical role in the tragedy. Operators manually overrode the safety system, mistakenly believing it was a false alarm. As a result, the occupied train was sent into motion, leading to the high-impact crash. The fallout from the accident was significant. Merlin Entertainments, the park's operator, faced intense public backlash and legal repercussions. An investigation by the UK's Health and Safety Executive revealed that Merlin had failed to ensure adequate risk assessments and operator training. The company was fined £5 million for health and safety breaches. For the victims, the consequences were life-changing. Several endured prolonged medical treatment and rehabilitation, while others faced permanent disability.
Back in my home, nice to do normal things, well, normal-ish things. It's still not sunk in what's actually happened.
The incident also led to a temporary closure of the Smiler and tighter safety protocols across Merlin-operated attractions. Jetline at Gröna Lund, Sweden, 2023. On June 25, 2023, tragedy struck at Gröna Lund amusement park in Stockholm, Sweden, when a partial derailment on the Jetline roller coaster claimed the life of a 35-year-old woman and injured 9 others. The ride, a steel coaster operating since 1988, was a staple attraction at the park. The derailment occurred when a section of the train left the track during a high-speed turn, causing several passengers to fall. Eyewitnesses described a chaotic scene as emergency personnel rushed to rescue those trapped in the ride's twisted wreckage. Preliminary investigations revealed deficiencies in replacement parts used during maintenance. These parts, though intended to meet safety standards, were found to have contributed to the structural failure. Authorities also scrutinized the park's inspection processes, questioning whether routine checks had been thorough enough to detect potential weaknesses. Gröna Lund immediately shut down all rides and suspended operations, pending a full investigation. The accident sent shockwaves through Sweden, prompting a nationwide review of amusement park safety regulations. For the victims and their families, the loss was devastating, sparking calls for stricter accountability in the industry. Quimera at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico, Mexico, 2019. On September 28, 2019, tragedy struck at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico amusement park in Mexico City when the Quimera roller coaster derailed during operation. 2 passengers were killed and 2 others were severely injured after one of the cars detached from the track, plummeting to the ground. This catastrophic incident sent shockwaves across the region and marked the beginning of the end for the park. The derailment was attributed to mechanical failure, with initial investigations pointing to poor maintenance practices. Witnesses reported seeing sparks and hearing unusual sounds before the car left the track. The ride's high speeds and sharp turns exacerbated the situation, leading to the deadly crash. Authorities later revealed that routine inspections had not been properly conducted, and the ride's mechanical systems showed significant wear and tear. In the immediate aftermath, La Feria Chapultepec Magico was closed indefinitely, and its operating license was revoked. The park, which had been a family favorite for decades, never reopened, leaving its site abandoned and symbolic of the dangers of negligence in the amusement industry. The Quimera incident also had a profound impact on regional amusement safety. Mexican authorities enacted stricter regulations, mandating more rigorous inspections and holding operators accountable for maintenance failures. Neighboring countries followed suit, reviewing their own safety protocols to prevent similar tragedies. Space Journey at Eco-Venture Valley, China, 2010. On June 29, 2010, the Space Journey simulation ride at Eco-Venture Valley Amusement Park in Shenzhen, China, turned fatal when one of its cabins detached during operation. The incident killed 6 passengers and injured 9 others, casting a dark shadow over the high-profile attraction designed to simulate a rocket launch. The disaster occurred when one of the ride's cabins broke free from its central axis, violently crashing into another cabin and the ride structure. Passengers were thrown from their seats due to the intense centrifugal forces, resulting in fatalities and severe injuries. Witnesses described the aftermath as chaotic, with emergency services struggling to reach those trapped in the wreckage. Investigations uncovered multiple design flaws in the Space Journey ride. Engineers had failed to account for the intense stresses placed on the ride's components during operation, leading to the eventual mechanical failure. Additionally, the ride lacked adequate emergency systems, and operators were poorly trained in handling such high-risk machinery. The incident sparked widespread criticism of China's rapidly growing amusement park industry, which had seen a surge in construction and innovation, but lagged behind in enforcing safety standards. The tragedy prompted a nationwide review of ride designs and operational protocols, leading to the closure of several attractions deemed unsafe. Superman, Ride of Steel at Six Flags, New England, USA, 2004. On May 1, 2004, tragedy struck at Six Flags New England when a man with cerebral palsy was ejected from the Superman, Ride of Steel roller coaster. The incident resulted in his death, sparking significant discussions about ride accessibility and safety for individuals with disabilities. The victim, a 55-year-old man, was seated in the front row of the hypercoaster, which features speeds of up to 77 miles per hour and a 208-foot drop. Despite the presence of a lap bar restraint, the man was unable to remain securely seated during the ride. His physical condition, including limited upper body strength, prevented him from bracing himself adequately, leading to his ejection during one of the ride's steep turns. Investigations revealed that while the ride's restraint system met safety standards for the general public, it did not adequately account for riders with physical disabilities. The incident underscored the importance of assessing individual safety needs and ensuring that all riders can safely enjoy attractions. The tragedy prompted Six Flags to review its accessibility policies. The park implemented stricter guidelines regarding who could safely ride certain attractions and enhanced training for staff to evaluate potential risks. The incident also spurred industry-wide discussions about balancing inclusivity with safety, leading to the development of more adaptive restraint systems in some parks.
We're going to begin here with the tragedy on the Ocean City Boardwalk. A subcontractor fell off a lift today while working on an amusement park ride.
Batman, the ride at Six Flags over Georgia, USA, 2008.
It was the Batman roller coaster where a teenager lost his life.
On June 28, 2008, a 17-year-old boy lost his life in a tragic incident at Six Flags over Georgia. The teenager was struck by the Batman, the ride roller coaster after entering a restricted area to retrieve a lost hat. The accident highlighted the dangers of bypassing safety barriers and the need for stronger enforcement of park rules. The victim and his friend had climbed over 2 fences, including one marked with warnings about entering the restricted area. As the boy attempted to recover his hat, he was hit by a coaster traveling at high speed, killing him instantly. Passengers on the ride were unharmed but left traumatized by the incident. The park conducted an immediate investigation, emphasizing that the restricted area was clearly marked and that safety fences had been installed to prevent such occurrences. However, the tragedy led to public criticism about the adequacy of signage and park enforcement of restricted zones. In response, Six Flags enhanced security measures, including increasing the height of safety fences and adding more prominent warning signs. The park also launched public awareness campaigns to educate guests about the importance of adhering to safety rules. Cyclone at Coney Island, USA, 1988. On May 26, 1988, tragedy struck the iconic Cyclone roller coaster at Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, when a maintenance worker lost his life during an unauthorized operation. The Cyclone, a historic wooden coaster built in 1927, was one of the park's most famous attractions, but this incident highlighted the risks of operating rides outside standard procedures. The accident occurred while the worker was conducting maintenance checks during operational hours. He decided to test the ride by riding a car without securing himself properly. As the coaster ascended the lift hill, the worker lost his balance and was ejected from the train. He fell over 30 feet, sustaining fatal injuries. Investigations revealed that the worker had not followed standard safety protocols, including using the provided harness for maintenance rides. Additionally, the park faced criticism for inadequate oversight, as employees were permitted to perform tasks without proper supervision or adherence to safety rules. In response, Coney Island implemented stricter operational guidelines for the Cyclone and other rides. Maintenance procedures were overhauled, requiring formal safety checks and supervision during testing. The park also mandated that only certified operators handle test runs and that all safety equipment be used during inspections. Wild Wonder at Gillian's Wonderland Pier, USA, 1999. On August 28, 1999, a catastrophic accident on the Wild Wonder roller coaster at Gillian's Wonderland Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey, claimed the lives of a mother and daughter while injuring 2 other passengers. The tragedy was caused by a mechanical failure that allowed a car to roll backward down the lift hill and derail. The accident occurred when the lift chain mechanism failed, releasing the car mid-ascent. The train rolled uncontrollably backward before striking another car at the station, causing the rear car to derail. The victims, seated in the derailed section, suffered fatal injuries. An investigation revealed that the ride's mechanical systems had not been adequately inspected. Critical components showed signs of wear, and the failure of a braking mechanism exacerbated the severity of the incident. The park faced intense scrutiny for its maintenance practices and lack of preventative measures. The tragedy led to lawsuits against the park and significant changes in safety regulations. Wonderland Pier enhanced its maintenance procedures, increased inspection frequency, and installed updated braking systems to prevent similar incidents. The Wild Wonder coaster was dismantled shortly after the accident. Treetop Twister at Lightwater Valley, England, 2001. On June 20, 2001, a tragic accident occurred on the Treetop Twister roller coaster at Lightwater Valley Theme Park in North Yorkshire, England, when faulty ride controls caused a deadly collision. The incident resulted in the death of a 20-year-old woman and injuries to several others, casting a spotlight on the importance of functional safety systems. The Treetop Twister, a spinning wild mouse-style roller coaster, experienced a control system failure that allowed 2 cars to occupy the same section of track simultaneously. This malfunction caused a rear car to collide violently with the car in front, trapping passengers and inflicting severe injuries. Emergency services rushed to the scene, but the young woman succumbed to her injuries. Investigations revealed that a wiring error in the ride's control panel had caused the failure. The error bypassed critical safety features that were designed to prevent collisions. Additionally, inspectors discovered that the ride's safety checks had been rushed and some technical flaws were overlooked. The park responded by temporarily closing the treetop twister for a comprehensive review of its systems. Engineers replaced the faulty wiring, installed enhanced control mechanisms, and added redundancy features to prevent future malfunctions. The incident also led to stricter regulatory oversight of amusement parks across the UK, mandating more thorough inspections and improved ride operator training.
The day before the accident here, the ride had actually been closed because of an electrical issue.
Mission: Space at Disney World, USA, 2005. On June 13, 2005, Mission: Space, a high-intensity simulation ride at Disney World's Epcot theme park, became the center of controversy after a 4-year-old boy died due to a pre-existing heart condition exacerbated by the ride's intense G-forces. The tragedy raised questions about the safety of thrill rides for individuals with underlying medical conditions. The ride, designed to simulate a rocket launch and space travel, subjected riders to up to 2.5 Gs of force, more than twice the gravitational pull experienced on Earth. The boy, who had a previously undiagnosed heart condition, became unresponsive during the ride. Despite immediate medical attention, he was pronounced dead shortly after. An investigation concluded that the ride operated as designed and that the G-forces were within acceptable safety limits. However, the incident highlighted the importance of informing guests about the physical demands of high-intensity attractions. Disney faced criticism for not providing clearer warnings about the ride's risks to individuals with certain health conditions. In response, Disney updated Mission Space with enhanced safety signage and pre-ride announcements detailing the potential risks. The park also introduced a less intense version of the ride, giving guests the option to experience the attraction without exposure to extreme G-forces. Rolling Thunder at Six Flags. Great Adventure, USA, 1981. On August 16, 1981, a tragic incident on the Rolling Thunder wooden roller coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, resulted in the death of a 20-year-old man. The accident highlighted the dangers of improper rider behavior combined with a failure of safety restraints, leading to significant changes in ride enforcement policies. The victim reportedly stood up during the ride, an act that compromised the function of the lap bar restraint. As the coaster traversed a steep hill, he was thrown from the car, falling 30 feet to the ground. Witnesses described the horrifying scene as ride operators quickly stopped the coaster and called emergency responders. Unfortunately, the man succumbed to his injuries at the scene. An investigation revealed that while the restraint system on the Rolling Thunder met industry standards for the time, it could not prevent accidents caused by deliberate misuse. The park faced criticism for not adequately monitoring rider behavior and for the lack of reinforced safety measures that might have prevented such an incident. Following the tragedy, Six Flags implemented stricter safety protocols, including enhanced rider monitoring, reinforced restraints, and public awareness campaigns to educate guests on the importance of following safety rules. The incident also contributed to the development of more advanced restraint systems designed to minimize the impact of rider actions. Dragon Challenge at Universal Studios, Orlando, USA, 2011. In 2011, the Dragon Challenge roller coaster at Universal Studios Orlando became the focus of controversy following 2 incidents of flying debris causing severe injuries to riders. Once a fan favorite dueling coaster, these accidents ultimately led to the ride's permanent closure in 2017. The first incident occurred in July 2011 when a rider was struck in the face by an unidentified object while riding one of the coasters. A month later, another rider sustained a severe eye injury after being hit by a similar object. Both incidents were linked to debris flying from either the ride's structure or other passengers. The injuries led to immediate investigations and a temporary suspension of the dueling feature, which had been one of the ride's key attractions. Universal Studios implemented measures to prevent further accidents, including reducing the speed of the coasters and prohibiting loose items on the ride. Despite these changes, the incidents raised concerns about the inherent risks of such high-speed, closely aligned coasters. Haunted Castle at Six Flags, Great Adventure, USA, 1984. On May 11, 1984, a devastating fire broke out in the Haunted Castle attraction at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, resulting in the tragic deaths of 8 teenagers. This disaster remains one of the deadliest amusement park incidents in U.S. history, exposing critical gaps in fire safety regulations for temporary structures. The Haunted Castle, a dark walk-through attraction made of interconnected trailers, was packed with guests when the fire began. Investigators determined the blaze was likely started by a lighter or match carried by a guest. The castle's interior, constructed with flammable materials, allowed the fire to spread rapidly, engulfing the entire structure in minutes. Many guests were able to escape, but 8 teenagers became trapped, unable to find exits in the thick smoke. The aftermath revealed alarming safety lapses. The Haunted Castle had no sprinkler system or fire alarms, and emergency exits were poorly marked and difficult to access. Furthermore, the attraction had not been inspected as rigorously as permanent structures due to its temporary nature. Six Flags faced legal and public backlash, but the park was ultimately acquitted of criminal charges. Inferno at Terra Mítica, Spain, 2014. On July 7, 2014, a fatal accident occurred on the Inferno roller coaster at Terra Mítica Amusement Park in Benidorm, Spain. A 18-year-old man was ejected from his seat during a high-speed loop, falling to his death. The incident was attributed to a safety harness failure, raising global concerns about restraint system reliability. The accident unfolded when the victim's harness unexpectedly disengaged mid-ride. Despite the presence of secondary restraints, the combined forces of speed and gravity were enough to eject him. Eyewitnesses described the horrifying scene as ride operators brought the coaster to an emergency stop, and emergency services rushed to the site, though it was too late to save the rider. Investigations revealed that the restraint system had been improperly secured during the boarding process. However, it also became apparent that the harness design lacked additional fail-safes to prevent such incidents. The park temporarily closed the ride and conducted an overhaul of its safety mechanisms, introducing more secure locking systems and enhanced training for ride operators. The Inferno accident reverberated across the global amusement park industry, prompting reviews of similar rides. Manufacturers and operators prioritized retrofitting older restraint systems with fail-safe mechanisms and improving inspection protocols.